Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to install and start using Origin. So first of all, we need to go to the website and register an account. I'll register a solo account, and since I want to use GitHub OOs, I'm pressing this button. And as I have my GitHub logged in, it already redirects me to the installation process. So first thing to do is to install Origin CLI, which we do by copying this command to the terminal. I already have it installed, so nothing to do for me. Then we need to log into our Origin web platform by running Origin login command with the key that is provided by the platform. Here we can see that I have some sessions from my previous account. I'm going to remove them. Good. And basically, we need to run Origin enable inside of the repository of our project. I need to clone the repository first. I prepared a test repository. We're going to do a clone. I need to log into my GitHub, of course. All right. Here we go. Now we clone the repo. We go to the repository itself and run Origin enable. Origin installs Git hooks into relevant agent directories. And that's it. We are basically ready to start coding. Let's check our status. It says that we are connected to our workspace. It says that we are using the solo account. And it also shows us the tools that was detected on this computer. So back to our platform, I run those commands. Here we need to choose what agents we're going to use for our coding sessions. I'll take a few. Also, we need to choose the plan that we use with every agent. In case it's a paper token, we just leave it here. If you use any of the subscriptions like Claude Max, you should choose it here. We also need to connect GitHub in order to be able to connect Origin to and Origin metadata to our repository later. It will ask us to install official Origin GitHub app. We can choose all repositories or some specific repositories. We also need to choose the repositories that we want to import. I'll take the test one. Here we can put Anthropic or OpenAI API key that will be used to generate AI summaries for Origin and our use. I'll skip it for now. Well, we are ready to start our first session. Let's go and take, for example, a cursor. Need to start a new project, the one that we just cloned from the GitHub. And let's say I want to create some nice script. While we watch cursor working, we can go back to Origin and see that it detected our first session. And now we are ready to go to the dashboard. All the functionality of the dashboard is described in a separate video. Here we can go briefly to see what functionality looks like in the Origin. So repositories, it shows us how to work with repositories. Sessions, we're going to dive deeper. Snapshots, insights, and our main dashboard. I'm going to skip it for now. All right, so here we go. We've got this beautiful dashboard where we can see sessions, we can see token usage, costs, and lots of other data. We can also see the timeline of every session. We can check the commits made and some other statistics that we're going to learn a little bit later. For now, we go to sessions and we see our first session that was started in Cursor. By clicking on the session, we go into the details. So let's explore what we can see on this page. First, we can see the session's output. If we click on the prompt, we would see all the output that was generated by the cursor, including the diff that was made to a specific file or files. We can also see AI blame, which is basically allows us to understand what code was written by which prompt. We can see the changes made by prompt. In by file view, we can see exactly what changes were made by each prompt. Since we have only one prompt now, there is nothing to explore, but we're gonna make some more changes. Let's ask our cursor to make some edits and commit. We're going to learn more about AI blame sessions later. For now, I want to tell about snapshots. So snapshot is basically a backup of the code per prompt. So unlike doing a rollback in Git, we can do a rollback to every prompt using Origin. It's a very useful feature in case you want to roll back specific changes to a previous prompt or a few prompts back in the time. You can do it using snapshots. And as you can see, we received the second snapshot made by Origin after the second prompt. All right, now let's go back to session. And here we can see the second prompt, the changes, the output of the second prompt, and also changes made. We can see that cursor added some stuff and also removed some lines. But the interesting part is AI blame. We again can see per prompt changes, and in by file changes now we can also see like exactly what rows were added by every prompt. So we can see that these rows were added by prompt 1, and prompt 2 added these lines to the file. We also have GitHub connected, so we can import, add more repos, or we can disconnect this repository from Origin if we want to. But the interesting view that we have here allows us to see lots of useful data. So first of all, we can see that almost all of the code in this repository was AI generated. Only the initial commit that was made by GitHub when they created the repo was human generated, and all the rest of the code was generated by AI. On every commit, we can see also the agent that was used to generate this code and the model within this agent. We also see this blue tab that says that it's not pushed to GitHub yet, so it's a local commit only. By clicking on it, we can see another useful data. So first of all, the changes made to the source code, and by clicking on every prompt, we can see exactly what changes this prompt made, which is very useful in debugging and learning the outputs of your agent. Now let's go back. We also can see files, sessions, and go quickly to see our session from here. Now let's go back to the dashboard. Here we have some data finally. So first we can see the amount of sessions running. For now we have only one cursor session. We can also see a token utilization. with the details. Cost, since we just started the session and run one prompt, there are barely any costs associated with that. And also lines written. This is a very useful stuff that we can see, mostly like our activity on the platform. As I said, timeline. If we will have more sessions with different agents, we will see when we started each session and what agent was used. Here we can see commits and be able to go directly to commit to explore it. If we need to look for a specific prompt, we can do a prompt search right here. At the agent tab, we can see agents that were used. This data provides patterns, our coding patterns and our agent patterns. So eventually, when we'll have more data, it will provide more useful information, as well as efficiency tab. So these are three main directories that you're going to work with using Origin. Dashboard that provides the statistic, repositories that provides the summary of your source code and the commits, and sessions that give you a detailed overview of your sessions, of your agent activities, also blame and snapshots, as we discussed. That's it for now. Thank you for watching this short intro on how to use Origin. And feedback is welcome.